This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 224 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. I'm your host in Metal Gear of the podcast, Eric Getty Rex Gettinger. Ooh, boy, who wrote this one? With me as always.
That's quality.
With me as always is giant, organic, fleshy meat suit and titan of the podcast, Alex Arona. Say fleshy.
I don't know. That's
fleshy.
It's like the word squelch. I'm not into the word fleshy. I'm into the word techie. Gigabytes and upload speeds, Getty. That's what
gigabytes.
We talk about.
This episode will not hold up.
Teraflops.
Give it 5 years and we won't be talking about gigabytes.
Terabytes. We're talking about terabytes, man.
Well, that's not going to hold up either. What happened to Johnny Mnemonic?
Quantaflops.
You can coin it right now.
Quantum computers. You know, if you want to make anything sound futuristic, use the word quantum in it.
Quantum leap.
There you go.
Quantum's kind of overplayed at this point.
Oh, damn it. We're behind again.
Yeah. Lastly, this week we're joined by Armored Core pilot and veteran of Rubicon, Joel DeWitt.
I spent all my rubles in the Ruconian casino. I shouldn't have sold my arms. And my tank parts, I know I finally got past Balteus, but like, that might come in handy in the future. We'll see.
You can always buy them back. But bold move expecting them to use rubles. I'm fairly certain that's an extinct currency. Well, this week is anything but extinct as we double down on cooking and early adopters get some piercings with the news. Alex? Any piercings you want to tell us about?
No.
That sounded like a question. And then Armored Core. Question mark? Are we going to talk about it? The elephant is in the room. Find
Don't
out.
Call him that. His name is Joel.
That was unkind.
Hey.
Yeah, Getty, that was unkind.
Hey, at least I didn't call him 001. Hey, Joel. You're so creative with naming things. What are your kids named? 1 and 2?
Actually, they are Trouble 1 and Trouble 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my nicknames for them. So, I'm a wellspring of creativity, Getty.
Hurt my soul when I read that.
Mine is called a sack of potatoes.
You could name it that. You could literally put sack o potatoes. 001. Have you saved Armored Core loadouts and named them different things?
No. All right, is naming the Armored Core different than naming the different loadouts? Are those two different things?
Yeah, they're two different things.
Oh, okay.
This is the Blasto loadout. This is the shooty loadout. This is the slice and dice loadout. What are we doing?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm gonna name my mech.
This one's called the
Metty McMetface.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll name all the variants by number.
Oozing with creativity. Oozing.
This one's called the Chocolate Sundae. What does that mean?
I like that.
Nobody
and
knows.
you could put the different colors on it. Like its base could be that dark chocolate, and then you could put some whipped cream on top and make his head like the frosting, or maybe some sprinkles. Throw in some color on it. Yeah.
Did he make a Neapolitan one?
That's assuming that I'm going to turn the game back on, man. I rolled credits on that thing.
Oh, all right.
My nickname in college was Sweet Mocha.
That's... Who called you that?
Nobody.
No, that's what I thought. Okay.
I wanted them to so bad.
You got to drop the hints better.
I offered it up so many times.
at that point, Alex, I would expect you to like go to Home Depot, get the swatches, and be like, "Ooh, yeah. What do you think about this mocha color?"
Sweet, sweet mocha. Guys, get any ideas for nicknames?
I feel like, Daddy, you have to take them to Home Depot now and like figure out the right color swatch. And that
Well, I
can
have
be
to go
some
tomorrow,
sort of,
so
that can be some sort of handle.
I feel like Alex would definitely name his armored cores.
I plan on it. I'm really like focusing down. We'll talk about this in the backlog. I'm really
Okay,
focusing
fine.
down some games to get to Armored Core.
I mean, Lies of P comes out this month, right? So
Oh no, and that's
TikTok, Alex, TikTok.
I know it's rough. It's rough stuff. I'm trying, man. It's hard.
Lies
I've buckled
of
down.
P.
But we got a podcast here, and we're gonna go on over to early adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and games where we manage a kitchen. Multiple games where we manage a kitchen. Multiple delicious
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Midwest games. That's 2 different games.
I respect that game used a highway that I'm aware of.
Let me start with Delicious Dungeon. Who played Delicious Dungeon?
It's an audio podcast. We should all say I did.
No, we shouldn't. I needed the visual confirmation that people were raising their hands.
Oh, man.
All right. Delicious Dungeon.
This is
Hey,
what
you-
the kids call a cozy game.
I don't know if it's that cozy.
I'm already tired of naming convention. That
I know, right? I'm kind of over like cozy games. Like I'm not over Zelda like, but I am kind of over the idea of a cozy game.
I don't
But
think that
kind of
this is cozy. I think
definitely
that
this is
Power
cozy.
Wash Simulator is cozy. I think this is frantic, and there's a lot of things to take into consideration. And when I think cozy, I just want simple, straightforward. Like you do one thing. This is like, all right, here you are. You're in an inn. All right, you're running this inn. You got to get the food. Where do you get the food? You got to go to the dungeon. Did you go to the dungeon? You get the food? You got to go back. Did you make the food? People are buying it. Come on, we got to go back to the dungeon and get more food. It's a lot going on.
Was it on a time? I don't think it was really timed.
It was not timed, but
That's
they
what
were
I mean.
like,
Is that it's like when it's not timed,
You
it
got
feels
it.
like I just can kind of do it as I want.
I don't know, because like the dungeons of Cult of the Lamb aren't timed, but I wouldn't call that a cozy.
is that a cozy game,
No, it's
Alex?
I guess you're right, but I guess what I'm saying is that like I
Just-
didn't feel like the combat was any like okay, so this is kind of a Stardew style. What did I say Stardew? I would say this is a little like Cult of the Lamb, where you're just like kind of a top, like almost like a top tilt angle. Little guy who's like a chef, and they need ingredients, and you go out to the wild and you hack and you just do a little hackety hack with your little weapons, but you have like a sword, a giant like spear fork, and what was it? A mace or an axe? Hammer.
It was like a mace hammer, yeah,
Yeah.
with spikes.
And with that, you will go and get ingredients, which you'll bring home for your delicious meals that you're going to be serving up at your restaurant. It's got a lot of customization. I guess what sticks out as a cozy game to me is that, man, did that music just sound like it was a coffee shop. Like everywhere.
Sure.
Everywhere just sounded like a relaxing coffee shop. It was just like, oh, okay, I'm just going to go over here, and I'm going to go and cut up this bush here, and then, oh, okay, now I can take this onion, and I can go. It just, when I feel like I can hear Bob Ross narrating, then I feel like that's what cozy game is to me. At the same time, that boss was kind of effed up.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, did the music help you with the boss at all?
I will say that like the minute to minute is real relaxing, and then all of a sudden, a bullet hell boss comes out like Souls like comes out of nowhere, and it's not like a single boss; it's a double boss where it's like two of them with separate health pools, just blasting you in the face, and I'm like, what? Like, where did my cozy game go? That was the question. I was kind of in on it, and I was like, okay, I could see myself like just like having a nice Sunday night, just
Yeah, remove that
winding-
combat. You're playing a
winding
different
down
game.
winding down
even
from
even
my
if
day.
you remove the bosses, though, at least for that first dungeon they give you, it is very unchallenging up to that boss. You know, you got your dodge, you got your general sword attack, and they telegraph the attacks far in advance, where you don't have any real risk of getting hit if you're paying it all attention. So I think there's, like, you can split it down the middle. Like, the bosses either need to chill out a little bit, or this game needs to decide it's going full cozy.
Yeah, which again, I'm not even against the boss thing. I actually found it as a hilarious juxtaposition. Like, it happened, and I was like, "What? Where am I?" All of a sudden, this just got real intense, real fast, and I was laughing. I was laughing the entire time because I was like, "This is insane." But yeah, I kind of agree that it is trying to put like its foot in both camps, and I feel like that's a little tricky. Should probably pick one. But I mean, I guess like that's like where new ideas come from, right? Mashing things together.
Yeah, it's this to be very well what their intent is and the kind of crowd they're going for. And there could be a contingency for this, right? I mean, even Stardew Valley has their dungeon crawling stuff in the caves and stuff when you're going mining. So,
did you hear they added a second dungeon?
Really?
In Stardew?
Yeah, I think more recently.
That wouldn't surprise me. That guy has been updating that thing for years.
Yeah, I mean, but you think that he'd be working on the chocolate, whatever that game, his second game. Either way, delicious dungeon. I think is it's got a good idea. Did you make it past the boss?
I didn't. I was like, well, I'm good.
I was just curious. I also got my face punched in by the boss, and it was pretty rough. But it was, I don't know
if I probably if I went back, I could give him another try. But I was like, maybe they don't want me to beat him because it was kind of like just a, back in like the day with wrestling, where you'd have the one guy in the ring and you'd be like, yeah, man, like getting real hyped, and then like 6 guys jump out and then they just start wailing on him. That's how I felt it went down. Yeah. I was like, this isn't fair.
Yeah, because he summons other, because it's like 2 super monkey, like king monkeys. Yeah. And then they summon like one of them, they summon monkeys who just like pelt you with like, bullets. And then the second boss, and you don't even kill the first one. He like dips. And then he's going to come back. He's going to come back into like another round. But then the second guy, he creates a ring of monkeys that you cannot escape. And he's just there doing a whirlwind spin, moving slowly at you, and you have to avoid him while staying within the weird ring of monkeys, which reminded me of Monkey Knife Fight, which kind of made me feel weird about it, if we're being honest.
Well, let's be fair. The beetle, like your little beetle companion, it helps. It doesn't help that much.
No.
Like, it's still just complete insanity. I tried, like, kiting around, and I was like, maybe I can avoid, and my guy can help me. Nope.
Your guy does not do enough
brutal.
damage. He shoots. No. You have a little beetle that will just shoot little pellets, and they move very slowly, and they do very little damage.
Mm-hmm. He's just trying to help.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't blame that little beetle friend. Good for him. I'm glad. I appreciate his help. But I also am thinking, like, oh, man, this is not doing enough for me.
The beetle is like that manager who got promoted past their competence. And it's like, they're trying, but they shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Yeah.
That's how I feel every day of my life.
It's called imposter syndrome.
What am I still doing here? This is my reality now.
Delicious Dungeon was an interesting game. I think that there's obviously room for like customization and adjustments and like, okay, I'm gonna craft a chair for my house, and then I'm gonna make my restaurant have different recipes and blah blah blah. There's a lot of room there to explore, especially in a like dungeon format. There was an old indie game that was very similar like this, but it was 2D platformer.
You're
like
thinking
fighting?
of Battle Chef Brigade, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that one was pretty fun as well. So I think that, again, there's room for something like this. That one was more visual novel than like customization, but this is still pretty good. So, I mean, again, obviously with like Fae Farm coming out and the success of like a Stardew or a Cult of the Lamb, there's a lot of room in the space right now.
Yeah.
So
There's so much room that we played another game that was similar to this. Hey guys,
this one I think was a really good twist.
let me tell you about Midwest 90, Rapid City. This one you also manage a kitchen. This is more of a sim type game.
Yeah.
But it's the same isometric downward view. You're watching your character.
It reminded me of like the artwork of like almost like an original Fallout.
Yes.
The way the characters kind of look.
And it's kind of the setting of an original Fallout, but what, it's supposed to be like 30 years in the future?
Yep, there's the Black Hills, and the Black Hills have opened, and monsters have appeared. And what did we do? We chopped up the monsters for food.
Well, don't forget, it's also the Second Great Depression.
Oh, is it? Okay. I
Yes.
missed that part.
It's the new depression.
The lengthy narrative.
But, sim style game, like the restaurant sim. You start with your chef and your waiter and a couple tables.
Oh, guys, I fired that waiter, like, almost instantly.
What?
My chef ran off.
What?
My waiter... So, Joel's doing a really good job describing it, but I need to tell you, like, my waiter, back to back to back, times he went to deliver the food, dropped it right on the floor.
Yeah.
And 3 times in a row. I was like, dude, you got to get out of here right now. And the chef was running food for a little bit while I, went to go find somebody else to replace that waiter. But goodness gracious, unacceptable. Made me feel like I was at work.
Man, yeah, I did. There is you get to a point where it does teach you how to hire new waiters, but I was just like, well, I kind of know how these games go. It's going to be hit or miss for a while until I can get like a real A+ waiter. I assume that they're probably going to be graded at some point. But
I mean, you could be just a hole in the wall, shitty monster burger diner. There's nothing wrong with that.
I've been to several Greasy Spoons. But in this case, I got to the point where it's like, okay, here's how you hire more waiters and more chefs, and here's how you met. I always kind of cut out in very specific spots for these games. Like I love these games, and I have way too many in my library. But I also have a very like early cutoff point where it's like, here's how you manage everyone's salary, and here's how you give them a bonus, and here's analytics on how much they make for how much they. And I'm like, well.
Do you want to give this person a bonus to help increase their morale?
I'm like,
I don't know. Are they going to continue to drop plates on the ground?
Yeah, I ain't giving him nothing, man. He's got to level up, which they can level up.
They can.
Yeah, this genre of game definitely has a certain treadmill to it, where you started with the trash, and really what you're trying to build to is a point where you've got all the right inputs you want, where it's just autonomous. Like you barely have to touch anything at all. And whether a game succeeds and fails in this is whether that scale is reasonable, and then how much fun the actual interchange is. And I think this does that both fairly well in the short snippet we did. I think the setting's really cool. The twist of you feeding monster parts to people who like scavengers just trying to survive is good. What?
Monster parts? They don't know that it's monster parts.
But yeah, you do, and your chef does.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to know, man.
They're not supposed to know.
People. It took a while, like as they say in the game, it took a while for people to accept that like bison was pretty good. So, and like you got to imagine the first people who were eating shrimp were real weirded out by it, man.
Oh, for sure.
But the other part is that like whenever you like go talk to say like the shop, like the market, or you go talk to your chef, you get these really detailed like cartoonish, but also like a little bit like kind of gross character portraits when they're talking to you. And then of course there's like also parts where like you gotta at one point just buy a gun because your restaurant will get ravaged by monsters. And that definitely happened to me.
And all the characters have surprisingly like amount of character to them. So one of the grocers, she's this larger woman, and part of the humor is like I think my character made like a crass joke at her, and then she thought it was hilarious that I did that as the dialogue choice. And even the chef has this sort of like enthusiasm and also like a helpful nature that he has to you. So this game does a lot of really good world building, which helps you jump right into the scenario.
Yeah. So I think that like this has a good idea, especially with how it's handling the sim management stuff. And then, of course, there's a lot of wrenches you can throw at it. Very early on, someone like threatens your company and is like, 30 days, I'm coming for you. And I'm like, I wonder where that's going. So that automatically put like a thing in my head where like, should I play this for like the full 30 days? Because now I'm curious.
You probably should.
And of course, you gotta like buy your ingredients for these recipes, and you make your menu, and you have to check how much you want to, like, how much do you want these to like cost, because if you do it too expensive, then it's gonna, people aren't gonna like it as much. But if it is et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of cool features to this, and that's what makes it really exciting. Is that like it's fun to see like what the way that they're taking these pretty straightforward tropes and changing them to fit the bill of what they want this game to be, and the themes around it.
And it's an early build too, and they even say as such in the demo itself. And they encourage you to go to their Discord, send them a link in an email to a video you take of your playthrough. So they're clearly looking for a lot of community input on that. So I'm curious. I'll keep tabs on this.
Hell yeah.
How'd you guys feel about the convenience store lady?
Oh, that she looked like everyone looked like they were haggard as hell in the apocalypse, and she looked like she was like a Walmart greeter.
She was also named Karen, and she had the Karen haircut.
Yeah, she did.
I didn't notice that.
It was real funny.
This is the first thing I noticed. I was like, hey, she's surprisingly nice.
Mm-hmm.
At least in my encounter with her. So
she's good people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You got to put a positive spin on that Karen.
Absolutely.
All right. Midwest 90, Rapid City. We got a Flash game?
Yeah, okay.
Who threw a Flash game on here?
I don't remember who put this on. Maybe
PISCIS X Machina.
I mean, the link has a faux Dreamcast label on it, so I'm pointing the finger at you.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, mech animes? All the hot rage right now, all the mecha, the get in the whatever Shinjis. I can't think of the name.
That's a stupid show.
Evangelions.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what if you were just the friend / anthropomorphic weird pet that helps out in those shows?
Just a face with two legs.
There's always one though, right? Wasn't there one in Evangelion? Wasn't there like a weird creature dog thing? No, it was a penguin. It was Pengu.
But it wasn't a... I don't know if I consider that a weird creature.
Sidekick or... yeah.
But anyway, what I'm saying is that in this game, you are the little weird anthropomorphic creature that's there, and like the guy who's trying to fix his mech so he can fight what seems like the moon from Majora's Mask. His mech is going to fight the moon, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm out of these. What kind of cores were they? Not consciousness cores.
It was something along those lines of."
It was a bright, glowing electrical ball that you had to.
But he was like, "I need these consciousness cores," and your little guy, the little guy's like, "Okay," and you give it to him, and he's like, "Great, I'm gonna power up the mech," and you see like the little window, and it does a full anime like mech charge up, and it's like, "Oh yeah, this is gonna be sick," and then it's like, "Oh man, I need more mech. I need more of those consciousness cores," and then you're like, "Okay," and he goes, "Go get me some more." And the whole thing is that you're just doing the grunt work while he's just like powering up this mech, and there really isn't. The game is you just getting cores, and it's very funny. You're exploring this little world in what seems like a Dreamcast game, and you get the cores, and then more anime stuff happens, but it never really. I don't know if you ever get to the action I think the idea is that it's just hilarious. Like at one point, like while you're looking for the cores, he keeps just like every once in a while just pops up a window where he just complains more about how he can't fix his mech. And then like at one point I was
he's
like,
swearing at you. Or
well, no,
maybe he's just swearing in general.
at one point the text box popped up and it just goes, "Oh, butts."
It's a coherence core. I started the game back up.
Coherence core?
Coherence core.
Yeah.
Visually, it reminds me a little bit of Short Hike. A lot of that color palette, the backdrops are uncomplicated. That has sort of like a fuzzy pixelation filter going on. The first core I got when I turned it in, the game decided to act like I triggered the moon falling down on me, like a game over state. So I'm not sure what I did wrong with that, but this was interesting. Like that, it's that time and place 3D platformer, like puzzle platformer of that era. So I know why they evoked Dreamcast of all things, but definitely seems kind of like those PlayStation 1 DMake stuff going on.
Yeah, you know, I can't remember the name of the game, but it was an N64 game. I want to say it was like Goemon's Adventure or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And you had like a giant robot but the way that you move in this, the way that the character just kind of like goofy like that, that's what it reminded me of. I was like,
Mystical Ninja.
That's what it was called.
Mystical Ninja. Yeah, it's that kind of almost like chibi lookish a bit. I mean, back then, a lot of it, I think, was the graphical limitations, right? Where it was probably just easier for them to have a clean-looking character if they did that instead of like an actual human-like figure, which is probably a big reason why, if you look at like PlayStation 1 versus N64, the N64 stuff, I think, tends to look a little better, at least when you think about like... I've got a dog bouncing all over the place with his big paws and snout. But yeah, I think this is a very cute game. Mm-hmm. It just isn't my bailiwick.
Yeah, you really have to be in the mood for something like this, and the game doesn't necessarily hinder your progress, but it's also not trying to help you in what you can play. I didn't, in truth, play it probably as much as I could have, but you know, you get a fishing rod, you're running around, you're trying different things, just seeing what sticks in the environment.
And even one of those cores requires you to use the fishing rod to grab one. So
man, that thing did not want to let go either.
No, but the way your character flaps around, it all is very silly. I wish that there was controller support in this demo. And I understand that being browser-based probably makes it hard to do that, but it really wanted for that in my experience, and it's too bad that they weren't able to integrate something like that in it.
It makes it difficult with a Flash game, but you know, maybe
I would definitely like this to be like a full-fledged though.
Yeah.
Just from the silly standpoint, like this game could be an hour, and then like we get like it'd be funnier if we got like 30 seconds of cutscene. It punches the moon in the face. Credits.
You know what? Somebody should just, because in the browser it gives you a 2-day countdown. Mm-hmm. Just let it go.
Just let it go.
See what happens in 2 days.
You know, it actually, it does have a realistic countdown, which is like kind of
real
cool.
time. I was like, huh.
You know, that'd be an achievement or something too. Just leave it on for 2 days.
That's Steam. The Far Cry ending.
It's so funny though. Like the concept of you being like the sidekick kind of bristled me to start with, but now I'm thinking like, well, if it was a Star Wars game where you played R2-D2 the entire time and your job was just to like flip levers, open doors, and fix the spaceship you're on, like I could see it being a cool idea. Mm-hmm.
What would be cool about it is that like it would be more of a puzzle game, but like a timed puzzle game. Mm-hmm. R2, shut down the trash compactors on the detention level.
Right, and the idea is all this crazy actions happening around you while you're trying to do these mild, mundane tasks.
You're in the background and you're doing like, make the wires connect from A to B.
Space welding. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys never played Knights of the Old Republic?
Nope.
Nope.
In I know that the second one starts off with you playing as the astromech droid and doing stuff like that, like going around the ship and fixing it so that your character can survive. But that's the kind of thing like that they threw in there to help move the plot along. Mm-hmm. So not the timed aspect of it, but I could definitely get behind what you guys are talking about.
And it'd be cool if they're there's like little windows and you see like explosions happening, and occasionally the hero puts his face in the window going, "What are you doing? Help!" And you're just like, "Okay, let's do this little slide puzzle. Let's slide those. I have here these circuits and how I can make the fluid go from one end to the other."
The final act, though, has to be your character getting a mech of their own and joining the fight.
Finally. Yeah, this is a cool idea in this game, and I thought that was pretty funny.
All right. Check out PISCIS Ex Machina. I pronounce the X. I have to.
How? What, cross? Is that the other option?
No, you're not supposed to say it at all.
Oh, you're not supposed to say it all.
Yeah.
PISCIS Machina?
PISCIS Machina. But
okay. All right.
either way, I feel like I was cooking up a storm this week. Let's grab a break, guys. Hey News, it's sports ball season again. Time for everyone's favorite game, and it's called Guess the Piercing. Guess where Alex is going to get a piercing this weekend.
That's not happening. Also, Getty sports ball has ended. Sports ball has in fact ended. Wasn't that the faux sports game?
Blaseball.
Oh, Blaseball.
I don't know what that is. That sounds made up.
Sports ball was the beer pong knockoff from Not for Broadcast.
Okay. All right.
Also, sports ball is just a generic.
I'm guessing nose piercing. Herone's getting a nose piercing.
I could see him with a nose piercing.
Okay.
I want to see the triple earring, though.
Like a Final Fantasy VII character.
Mm-hmm.
Or really a Final Fantasy character of any of them.
But a chain that connects them together.
Yeah, that sounds even more Final Fantasy than
I was going with like chain wallet. Tiger ear.
He goes down to his wallet.
It's like a Kumari piercing. There we go.
All right, news this week. We got stuff.
Great description.
I don't know, man.
Super GG Radio. We got stuff.
We got a lot of stuff going on here. Hey, when's homework due?
Don't worry about it.
Well, I mean, it all depends. Are we going with or without Alec?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Alec has his PC has since died already.
His Linux has performed seppuku.
I'm also like debating like just buying him a power supply because at the same time I'm like, they're like $40.
I'd go in on that too.
But that dude makes
not
like
that bad.
double what I make, so I'm kind of like, hey man, just buy one.
I feel like this should be a non-issue, but we can, help a brother out here.
Okay, I'm into it. All right, we'll make a plan.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. We got to make sure it's actually the power supply first, and hopefully nothing else fried. But all right, actual news. Annapurna Interactive Stray animated film in development. Is this like pre-post side stories? What do we think?
I assumed a retelling of some sort.
But Stray has enough to work with that I feel like you could do that. It would, but that the little robot on the back of the cat would be talking like nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise the movie is just silent.
Nobody's going to be entertained by it.
Yeah. So I feel like there has to be either intense action scenes or that robot's got to be talking the entire time. So
Well,
it'll be difficult. So
I mean, there's not talking in WALL-E for like 25 minutes.
that's true. I would like that quiet serenity of WALL-E. Honestly, I would like the quiet serenity of the WALL-E.
Yeah, and I don't know that I need this to be like a whole hour, 15 minutes, or whatever. I mean, a suitable like 45.
You need it for sure to be at least an hour.
Really?
Yeah, you drop the kids off at the theater, go over to the Cinnabon, hit up Wetzel's Pretzels.
This sounds like my trip to the airport more than movie theater.
Oh, did you hit up the Chili's 2 over at the airport?
Chili's 2. Man, I forgot about the Chili's 2.
I was in an airport 2 weeks ago, so...
It's a sequel that you didn't know you wanted.
That nobody wanted. Nobody asked for.
I was at...
The Chili's 1.
I'll have you know, I was at an Applebee's not even 7 days ago. It was bad.
I'll say I'm sorry.
It was real bad.
While you were there, did they send out the bees?
No, they did not. I wish. When I was there, I was like, man, I'm unhappy here. I wish they would send out the bees.
Is that where you get Dollaritas? How many Dollaritas did you get?
I got something called the Making Me Tipsy.
Okay.
All right.
Elaborate.
No, I mean it did. The answer is it did.
I was looking for ingredients.
It was
Booze?
it was like a grapefruit strawberry margarita.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. It's
Wow.
extra boozy.
Grapefruit, the worst of fruits.
How dare you? I'm a big grapefruit fan.
It tastes like armpits to me.
Oh, man, you guys are the worst. I honestly
I don't like grape, especially the artificial flavor. Like if you hand me a pamplemousse LaCroix, like that's no. It's disgusting.
What is a pamplemousse?
It's a grapefruit.
Grapefruits
On the side of the can it says pamplemousse.
Grapefruits taste like what it feels to have your eyes burning with citrus.
I'm just like so upset here this entire time. Like that is one of my main fruits. I also had like a 2-year span of my like early childhood living in Florida. I definitely have like just picked them off of the tree and cracked one open and just enjoyed.
Cracked one open.
Yeah, you
Like a
peel
coconut.
it and then you pull it apart like an orange. It's delicious.
And then the citrus gets in your eyes.
That happens with limes more than grapefruits to me. You guys eat them with like a weird. You eat them with a spoon, don't you?
I don't.
You're not in grapefruit country anymore.
Yeah, I am not in grapefruit country anymore.
This
Like, that's
all
like
sounds terrible.
Love grapefruit country.
But you know what is maybe just as terrible?
I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to get in on this.
Cup of noodles. You guys know about this popular noodle cup that you can get based out of Japan, okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, picture, if you will, neon all over it with caffeine. This is your gamer cup of noodles.
I'm currently trying to figure out where I can buy these.
Caffeine in your cup of noodle.
They really needed like the Monster Energy drink collab to have this go full circle here.
I mean, it's also like, what is it called? Where you're like all the colors of like keyboards and stuff.
Oh, the RGB.
It's the RGB like cup.
And there's electricity on it too. That's how you can tell it's so cool.
I'm still trying to find where to buy these.
I don't know that you can.
Garlic and black pepper.
Oh, that's
yakisoba.
delicious. Yep.
Yakisoba.
Yakisoba. Excuse me.
Yep.
All right.
Google Translate for me, please. Okay. Well, okay.
Well,
It's like $28.
to order it online.
No, that's just how much it would be flat rate. 280 yen.
Okay.
That's $1.91.
What was that?
That's $1.91.
Oh, then I'm way off. I thought it's 2,800. 2,800 would be $28.
Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
that doesn't sound right because it would. Oh my gosh! You just add a zero. You just add a zero onto it. So
if you want to send us conversion rates, email us at mail@superggradio.com.
no, don't do that.
Okay, so but if I buy one, it's going to be like $1.90, and then the shipping is going to be like $30.
Yeah.
You better buy in bulk then spread the cost.
Hey, I just got word that my Persona pin that's coming from Japan that cost more in shipping than it actually cost to buy is actually on its way.
Wow.
Well, enjoy that in 3 weeks.
Yep.
It's gonna get stuck on one of my vessels.
I'm gonna get
Take
this.
that out.
I'm gonna find. I might just ask Andre from Gaming Fix if he can get me these noodles.
Daddy's gonna find your specific container.
I'm gonna figure out a way to get it delayed.
Be like, hey, that one.
I don't even work on imports.
That one, just put it in the Suez Canal somewhere. Don't even need to know where.
I'm literally messaging Andre as we speak.
It doesn't make any sense. Why would you go to the West to come back to the United States? You take that thing from Japan.
To delay it even longer.
No, that's... I wouldn't even do that to my worst... You want to delay something, try and send it through the Panama Canal, man. World's ending.
Or UPS.
Okay. I just messaged Andre, directly.
Amen. All right. Let's see how many he can get his hands on.
Okay.
It doesn't even come out for another week or something like that. But
Alex has a Japan guy, and he doesn't even leverage him.
I know. I gotta start getting this done, man. I gotta leverage it. He may not be there forever.
All right. Next up, Day of the Devs live stream showcase, December 6th. Significance. What am I talking about here?
Day of the Devs is another one of those we're going to give you all the hot new indie game showcases. So Day of the Devs is one of those, and it's going to be the same day, I think, as the Game Awards.
Yeah. I got an invitation in my email for it. I was like...
It's the day before the Game Awards.
Yeah, not ready for another trip to LA. Thanks.
Well, I mean, no, but at the same time, what I'm saying is that they're...
I think it's really more for developers, Daddy, joking aside.
Well, from what I read on the invitation, it actually had a bunch of we're going to be doing a bunch of indie announcements, and I was like, okay, that's where I'm on board. And also supposedly this is again part of the Summer Games, not Summer Games, the Keighley Game Awards thing, is that they're going to have even more stuff because of the Game Awards.
We're going into the Keighley verse.
We might get some world premieres.
I thought that was an E3 thing, or is that the Game Awards?
There's an Xbox thing.
Oh, okay.
It's a Game.
All right.
Is it Xbox? Okay.
There's an Xbox showcase. Remember?
World premiere.
I thought I remember us making fun of it at the Game Awards streams.
We probably did that too.
Yeah, probably.
Either way, Day of the Devs will be a very cool indie showcase. I'm down for some more indies. This year isn't amazing enough.
Yeah, man, don't you have 18 backlog games that you still need to play for this year?
I bought 2 this week.
What? Why?
Because, Getty, when the many pieces of Mr. Koo goes 1.0...
Yeah.
Oh, nice segue. Did you also get Volcano High?
That is in my cart as we speak.
Yeah, I was eyeballing it. That's been out for, I want to say, at least a week, though. Maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm still pretty pumped on that one.
Yeah, I'd like to get back to Volcano High. Goodbye, Volcano High went 1.0. The Many Pieces of Mr. Koo went 1.0. Looks like we also got Slay the Princess is going to go 1.0 on October 20th. These games that we have played, they're becoming real.
It's kind of
wild. Real now.
First off, it's always fun to play that game and then discuss it, and then all of a sudden it's holy crap, it's out, and I was really excited for it, and it's Christmas finally came. But at the same time, I will tell you, we've been doing this for how long? 4 going on 5 years, and I will tell you right now, there are games that we've talked about that still aren't out.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's funny how more aware you become of this stuff the more you trace it down. It's a lot of the stuff takes years to come out, or it may never come out of early access.
I got to tell you, this year, when A Space for the Unbound came out, and that was something that we played, maybe year and a half ago, I was so excited. and we got the review code for it. That was Christmas. And then to go and see like all these other positive reviews for a game like that, and we're like, yeah, we were talking about it before all y'all even thought to consider this. That felt real good.
Tastemakers.
I was on the Giant Bomb couch and I was like, hey, Jeff Grubb, you play Sea of Star, or not Sea of Star, you play what
Space for the Unbound?
Space for the Unbound. And he's like, no, of course I haven't. I'm a terrible person. It's like, yeah, you are, Jeff Grubb. Space for the Unbound rules.
Yeah.
I'm going to start beef with him.
Easily going to be on my Game of the Year list here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just really, Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones may never come out.
If you keep saying it, it has to come out, right?
Yeah. There's a couple of other ones that are they're Born of Bread. That one actually is getting close.
Bread?
I hear Born of Bread is getting close.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? Okay.
There is word of this year.
That one we played, what, like last year?
No, that was 2 years ago at least.
What? No way.
Yep.
I have no concept of time anymore.
Time.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Right, what else we got, Getty?
Alex was already talking about Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars sells over 250,000 in the first week. Can't say I'm surprised. I was happy to get my code. I've already dropped almost 18 hours into it.
Jesus,
Man,
you went further than me.
That's a good... I don't think so. I don't think I'm further than you, but that's a good game.
It sure is.
I like Sea of Stars, if only because they just it does a really good job of giving you downtime to be like, okay, well, we did a good thing, and we beat a huge boss, and that was a huge deal. Let's let it breathe.
Let's go fishing.
Wait, we gotta go. No, it's like more. We gotta go. Okay, we gotta go on this. Like, there's a ghost pirate. Let's go. And it just keeps like it'll move from dungeon to dungeon to like next thing to next thing, and then it's like, great job again. Let's take a minute to breathe, and let's take another breathe. Now we gotta go. And it really, like, every time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna take a break from this game. It's like, oh, holy crap! It just started me on this whole thing, and I have to play for another 4 hours because it's awesome and it keeps me engaged. And then it's like, time to breathe. Okay, maybe I'll take a break now. Oh wait, it's time to go again.
Let me ask you guys something. Since both of you, Joel has finished it. Alex, I think that you're further than me still, but okay. How many of these rainbow conches should I have?
I never did anything with them.
I just am at the Necromancer's hideout.
Okay.
And I have like 15.
Oh yeah, you're behind, dude. I think
Behind?
I'm actually behind you, and I'm at like 25.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I've done all the side stuff.
Is there side stuff?
That's
There
where
are
I'm
side
getting them.
quests in the game. Yeah.
I have not gotten any side quests. I've been finding them hidden throughout the world since the beginning.
There's not side quests. I'm ahead of you?
Yeah.
I thought you already did this. Last time when we talked, you were already fighting zombies, and that's literally where I just got to.
Oh. Is that Necromancer?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh. Yeah, then yes, I did that already.
That's what I said.
I thought they were like a crazy... I thought it was like a witch.
But Joel, you said you didn't figure out what to do with them?
I didn't bother. Like, it just
I
didn't
know.
matter to me. I assume you traded in somewhere for something. But
okay.
I already spoiled it for myself.
I want to say I ended with 60 or 70.
Okay.
I didn't go seeking them out. I just, as I went through dungeons and went searching for treasure chests, I'd run across them.
Yeah, I feel like I've been finding quite a few, and then people will give me them from completing side stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, it's funny, even in like the towns, there'll be treasure chests littered everywhere too. So
yeah, no, the number is 60.
There's 60 of them? Okay.
Yes, and then at the same time, I didn't ruin the ending, but I will tell you that that's what you need for the true ending.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So that is like a part of like there's several things you need to do for the true ending, and that is one of them.
So Alex is going to have to go back and do all the side stuff, so he can get them.
I don't know what side stuff
No,
you're talking about.
I will. I'll have to do all the side.
There's just people that you talk to and you encounter, and they're like, "Hey, can you do this for me?"
Yeah.
Like I talked to this little kid on a boat, and he's like, "Oh, I hate fishing. I need 30 fish fillets," and I was like, "All right, man, I got you covered here." And he's like, "Oh, here's a rainbow."
Like most RPGs, the world opens up after a while, and that's really where you can go nuts and go wherever you want and try.
Yeah,
it.
I think I'm not talking to everybody.
No, I'm sure you aren't.
Because I've not hit any side quests. I've just been like kind of going along with the story, and no one has told me or asked me to do anything.
Did you talk to the portrait that is in the town before you go to the whole ghost area, to the graveyard? There's a portrait that talks to you, and it's like, "Oh, I'm so mad about my brother." And then I was like, "Okay, I guess I'll go find another picture that talks to me in the town." And he was like, "Oh, just give my sibling some berry jam." I was like, "Okay." Bam! Got another one.
I did do that one.
You did?
Yes.
Okay.
But that didn't feel like a quest so much as like just some guy was like, "Hey," and said, "Give jam," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, because it's not like, oh, you don't have a quest log, so it's not like, oh, here's all your quests. It's like, hey, I talked to this person. They want me to do something else.
Okay, yeah, there was a couple of those I did. Yeah, in
Okay.
that graveyard, that one lady at the top. Yeah.
All right, so you are doing it. All right, fine.
Yeah. Okay.
You just don't realize it.
Have you found the game show?
Which I did two separate.
Of the packs of questions?
No, I've only found one pack of questions, but I haven't found any game show yet. Is there one where I'm at?
Yes. The pack of questions are what they're for.
I probably have to go back somewhere.
No, it's in that town you're in.
The sad town?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I guess whenever I get back to it, I'll have to take another look. I've been trying to do stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's keep going.
You guys know about Megan Fox?
She's real hot right now. She's real hot right now.
She's going to be in Mortal Kombat 1.
Good. Good for her.
Glad to see she's finding work after her ayahuasca trip.
I don't know what that means.
I ran across some article last year where it was interviewing her, and she talked about how she went on this retreat.
Yeah, because the guy that she was dating
quest, if you will,
was weed, according to her.
Or maybe Megan Fox has kind of been like in a weird like post phase. She had some kids, and then all of a sudden she kind of came back, and she's like, yeah, I'm kind of weird and do drugs sometimes, and that's kind of crazy. And then also, like, I'm dating a young guy, but also I'm kind of a badass for some reason. Like, everyone just kind of like, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden Megan Fox just came back. She hasn't been in a whole lot. She hasn't been in stuff in a while, but everyone seems to have like a real deep-seated respect for Megan Fox. And I'm kind of like, well, I mean, great, sure. I don't have anything against her. It was just like weird that she came back into the public eye and was suddenly like everyone thinks she's a badass, and I was like, well, that's cool, I guess. I don't know what started that, but I'm okay with it, I guess. And Mortal Kombat is like a weird like phase of like they can kind of do whatever they want, and I think that them doing this kind of idea is still pretty funny and like a fun idea. She's like a vampire woman.
Is this a new character entirely?
Yes, Nitara.
Okay.
It's pretty fun. So, I mean, like, again, it's just a cool new character that they can throw in there. And, of course, put a celebrity in there. They did this with Ronda Rousey before when she was Sonya, and it apparently was famously horrible.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
It's Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, she has not done well in the acting world.
She was in that one movie that she was in.
Fast and Furious?
Fast and Furious.
Wait, which one was that she was in?
I don't know. One of them.
I know
it's
that.
The one where they're in Dubai.
Yeah, when they're jumping building to building, she was someone fighting in the building scene.
She was fighting the building on the ground floor.
I think she was fighting, what's her name? Letty.
Yeah. Letty's in all sorts of fights.
I don't know.
I just watched her in Dungeons & Dragons. She was a fighter.
Who?
Pretty good.
Letty. In Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
Michelle Rodriguez?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I
Why'd
live
you
my
say
life
so?
one Dragon's Tale at a time.
Yeah, that movie was real good, though.
It was
I
really good.
stand by Dungeons and Dragons.
I mean, I just watched it. Like I had not seen it yet. It's on Amazon
Good.
Prime.
It's
And I was like,
amazing. Go watch
hell yeah.
it
Amazon
right
Prime
now.
for free.
You like that chonky dragon? Yeah.
Damn, a chonk dragon.
His name is like Sir Chonks a lot, too. No, it's not. I love how suave the paladin is, too. They're like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's like fun to watch him. All right. 2 more pieces of news. I'm really dragging today.
Dragon.
Nintendo demoing Switch 2 behind closed doors at Gamescom. How'd that
This
go?
is
you
just
get-
telling everybody that hey, this thing exists.
Is it the Switch 2.0 or is it the Switch Pro Diddly?
No, it's the new one, and it's got they're kind of putting it at there that it's like comparative to like the PS4 and the Xbox One.
Oh.
The thing that was circling around is that supposedly it was playing that Matrix tech demo for Unreal 6. Are they at 6 now?
I think so.
That
Okay.
sounds right.
Yeah. So, I would still love to see it end up being like a Switch U.
They had the word is it's still a handheld.
Yeah, I know. I can dream.
Yeah.
I want the Nintendo Tower of Power.
And the other word is that they're showing off new Breath of the Wild, not new Breath of the Wild, but like updated graphics and frame rate, et cetera, and they're shooting for end of the year next year.
Yikes.
Well, I mean, you gotta think that they're showing it to developers now, so that they can start making games for it.
There was a
multiple
short
years.
tail between when Switch was announced and when it came out too. So I wouldn't be surprised if we still didn't hear anything until mid 2024.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, you gotta like make sure that there are games for it. So you gotta start hitting the developers and saying, "Hey, here's the thing. Here's what it can do. Start making games for it."
Nah, nobody does that.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft for sure doesn't do that.
Nope.
Now you just let indies litter your page with naughty visual novels.
Mm-hmm.
And this
I've
one
got at least
developer
one or
that keeps
two of
on
those.
releasing just a clock app on Switch.
Yes.
He just games the system. He or she just games the system by like re-releasing the same game, so it's always in the new section.
It's smart.
Very savvy.
I've heard of that before.
Last one. New Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game based on Mutant Mayhem movie has been announced. Cool.
Seen the movie?
Yes.
How was it?
Recommend it. But I was
Okay.
the target audience.
Ah, all right.
Like
It's
the
kind
jokes
it's a Seth Rogen movie.
were for me. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But, it had a fun story. The voice acting was really good in it. And it just goofy. Really goofy at times. But I wouldn't go see it in theaters. Probably wait for it on digital. Rent it. You don't have to pay full price. Still, overall, really good.
It looked real good. Like the animation looks very like grimy in a good way, and the characters are all overly expressive in a fun way. And
Baby turtles. They have like the little, like when they're not even like 3 or 4 years old. That's so good. Oh, fat Raphael. He really comes into his body later.
poor
but-
Raphael.
Nah, it's just how you would expect him. Like Donatello's super lanky. Leonardo's like regular build out of everybody. Oh, I love me some turtles. All right, time for the best part of the podcast. Freebies.
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 Hit it with that freebies, Brok.
When you went to Applebee's, did you ask them if they had any freebies?
I did not ask Applebee's if they had freebies.
Can I have some freebies? Oh, God, please do that.
You're the worst.
All right. You call me the worst?
Yes, I did.
Oh, thank you. I'll be here all week. First up, Spell Drifter over on the Epic Game Store. Hey, do you like... Hold on, I'm clicking on it. Nope, that's going to install it. I don't want to do that.
That's not what you want at all.
Oh, boy. Spell Drifter. Let's see. Alex,
Get it? Do you like deck builders?
Puzzle-like deck builders?
Puzzle.
Yeah, RPG deck builders where your abilities are based on the deck of cards that you draw.
Sometimes.
Okay.
That's what this is?
Spell builder, yes. Spell
Okay.
Drifter combines the puzzle-like positional tactics of turn-based RPG with the customization and replayability of a collectible card game. The result? A hybrid wherein players must juggle the resources at their disposal using both time and space.
And space? Oh my gosh. I hate space.
Time and space? It's wild.
It's so provocative.
I know. And if evocative, you know it, you can visualize it.
All right. Let's talk about Exception on Steam.
Okay, I'm going to need you both to go to Steam right now, and you need to just grab this game.
All right.
I need to go grab it.
Exception is if you imagine like a Super Meat Boy puzzle platformer. You're going through these stages to get to the next spot, and you're wall jumping, wall climbing, fast paced, moving through things that are trying to murder you. But also imagine you're in Tron, and it's 2D platforming, all that stuff in a Tron world. Also at the same time, you finish a level. It pans out. The level is a solid object. It spins. Now you're doing the puzzle, but the level has shifted and spun around. The level is in of itself a 3D object.
Crazy.
Exception. When an old woman's computer system is taken over by a virus bent on total annihilation, you assume control of an ordinary software program transformed into an elite combat machine. Retake the system and build your character into a formidable instrument of retribution. Exception. On Steam. Came out 2019.
So what you're saying is that you play as Solitaire,
Kind
who's
of.
now got a thirst for blood.
We call that Legend of Soltar. Seriously, you guys looking at this? If you guys look at this,
I got it.
It's striking.
It's fine.
It's striking. It is really striking.
I got it. It's in my library. All right.
Good.
Peacely.
Peacely is... Okay. Ooh, what happened there? Peacely is an MMO.
Okay.
That you will collect. You'll collect items, and you will go and create a farm. You will be playing peacefully, creating your farm and world, chopping some logs, tending to your yard. Going into dungeons is an automatic affair, as you and your party will attack monsters in a timely manner, so you really don't have to do anything. You are just chopping down trees and building resources to build your house, your farm. Free-to-play MMO with very automatic combat.
All right.
Cool.
Well, let's go ahead and take a break. Find out where that piercing is, and report back on it next week. See you on the other side. And we're back with the Backlog Blog, where we play games, where I light the fires of Rubicon. I finished Armored Core 6.
Well done.
How many hours did it take? I don't know. I should probably check. Was it worth it? Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. That's real glowing.
At what point, the question I have for you is, at what point did it become a FromSoft game? Or did it ever?
I want to tell you that I don't feel like it would. So I don't know if people are really describing it as a Souls-like.
Armored Core is a From Software game. It predates.
It is a From Software game.
I didn't say did it become a Souls-like. I said when did it become like a FromSoft game?
Yeah, I thought that you were just being a clown. So that's why I jumped into something completely different.
I absolutely was. But at the same time, I meant I meant also the fact that like From games definitely have like a lot of things in common. And so I was curious, like, 'cause like one of the things is the Berserk sword is in it. The Berserk sword is in all the FromSoft games for the most part. So, like, was that the moment that it was like, oh, okay, this is a FromSoft game, or was it like, was there lore hidden in objects, like your equipables?
They're not equipables, but things that you find around the area. I feel like when it came to the obnoxious nature of the bosses.
Okay. That's fair.
I'm not going to spoil anything for Joel because I want to feel his fury and frustration when he gets to the Chapter 4 end boss.
All right. Yeah, as you know, I've finally downed Balteus. I had to go to a tanked build with a lot of rail guns and the plasma guns, like shoot like bubble kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was tough. The boss, gosh, so many missiles, and he is like a zero-turn mower, where it's like he could turn on a dime and then also like fly everywhere within a short notice. And then you just have to be on a swivel to follow him around while he's shooting a bazooka at you. And then comes the flame swords.
Then comes the flame swords.
It was such a victory when I finally got past him. But like that is Armored Core as well. So like if there's a similar vein between this and Souls-likes, it would be like you reach those hurdles and then you have to beat your head against the wall to figure it out, and then when you do that, you just want to cheer. Like it's just that good of a win.
That's awesome. It's that reward, right? That like that moment you jump the hurdle and you're just like, oh man, I just want to rip my shirt a little bit for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
That's manly. Just ripping your shirt, tearing it apart.
Here's a tip. Pre-cut it a little. Give it a little, and then it'll rip much easier.
I can't wait to next time I see Alex and he's got a little cut in his shirt and I'm like, well, I know what's going to happen.
You know what's going to happen. I'll have a backup in my pocket.
So I don't know how the other Armored Core games play. I imagine that they're probably a little frustrating at times, but truly, I've never been that frustrated at a boss until I got to the one that I was telling Alex about, but there's just some elements of it that don't seem quite right. Like Joel was saying, how fast that thing moves. Like, it has no right to move that fast, and some of the physics are very clearly broken on it. And I'll tell you, the end of Chapter 2 boss, the guy's got shoulder-mounted cannons, laser cannons, that will fire through his body. So don't think that you can fool him by zipping around underneath him, because that does not work. Somehow, the lasers go through his body. Just zap, zap, and they hit you.
That's very Armored Core.
Is it?
For what it's
you
worth.
should expect the game to be broken.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, I also dabbled in that, and I would pin enemies in the corner and then just wail on them, because while there is no really physical limitation, you can see out into the distance, there is a wall there.
Yep.
a very annoying red striped wall that's like, hey, you can't go any further. And I'm just like, sword, missiles, like point blank range right into the guy's face.
Yep.
That makes me feel good.
Oh, yeah. You can definitely cheese certain parts of this game like that. And you should, because it's broken against you, so you may as well break the game against it.
I was going to say that's very FromSoft, that it's like, oh, yeah, the boss got stuck, and it's like, good. Because I know that I've gotten stuck on geometry many times.
I will say this is like the quickest and smoothest feeling Armored Core I've played. Generally, the ones that I've played have a very almost like rigid kind of feel to it. So, what you might imagine an actual mech be like slow walking. You might have like a little bit of dash and boosting, but limited. And this game, you walk, but there's a button that you can just turn on like a boost drift, and then you are just smooth as butter floating around places. And then your energy boost is just used to propel you in the air or dash, or I think maybe use some weapons, possibly. But the customization is the name of the game still. That hasn't really changed at all between part buying and changing your colors and their OS chips. Is that what they're called, Getty?
You can upgrade your operating system.
Yeah. And that'll be like different abilities, either passive or active things. So like one of them I have is if you hit 0 life, you'll get a temporary shield around you and go back up to 1 health. And so it's like
perfect.
a second life. So like
it doesn't last for very long.
it depends on
Something
how
just
many
needs
health
to
packs
sneeze on
you
you.
have, if any. I've had a few cases where like I'll get knocked down to 0 before I've used all my health packs. Cause
Yeah,
there
but it
are
doesn't refresh. So.
Yeah, there. One of my challenges with this game is the health pack stuff. So you have to choose a moment where you're not taking any action in order to use the health pack. So it's not like I can be shooting and then try and hit health at the same time or something. You have to like pause for a second and do it. And some of these boss fights, it's like that is a very big risk to getting killed.
I was going to say.
Quick. The other thing I have to boost forward, it's you forget, Daddy. Do you push down on L3 to boost?
So you can do like a rush mode that will propel you forward.
Yeah,
And it doesn't really slow things down, but it gives you an easier time to dodge incoming attacks. And it is push down on L3, and I know what you're going to say, because I did it many a times. You're just trying to move around and you accidentally press down on it.
sure do.
And then and then you start to do like a boost mode, especially during the boss fights. It's pretty frustrating.
Yeah,
I think Elden Ring, that happened to me more than I'd like to admit. Because I'd be doing something and then I'd hit L3 and I don't remember what that would do. But it was like, oh man, not again.
Yeah, you just get into that sort of like intense grip, because this is the kind of game where you need both fingers up on the different L1 and L2, R1, R2 buttons. You're moving your thumbs, both moving the controller sticks, but also hitting the face buttons. And it's just, you're moving so much and twisting your hands so much in a way where it's almost impossible not to accidentally hit those inputs.
Yeah.
One cool thing about that rush, though, is you can do this like side turn really quick, and it's just a very snappy, quick feel, and you end up having this kind of flying by the seat of the pants moments where you're just barely in control of what you're doing, but being able to succeed on that razor's edge can be really thrilling.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm excited to get time to play this next year. It's going to be so good.
You mean in 2 years?
Yep.
When your gaming schedule finally eases up.
I swear I'm going to play God of War one day.
One of these days, Alex will play games.
I'm playing games. There's too many games.
That Alex will play the games that we played this year. No,
Playing all
not
the
funny.
games this year.
I played the games.
So many
I
games.
don't know.
I still haven't played Dave the
I mean,
Diver.
Dave, are you playing that?
I have it. It's installed.
That doesn't mean you're playing it.
No, the answer's no. I want to play it.
So, Armored Core 6. There's multiple endings. The game really wants you to play through and find them all. There's plenty of side stuff to do between finding logs on downed mechs and, doing all the arena stuff, and it's pretty exciting. Is it infuriating at times? Yeah, for sure. I checked. I capped it at 29 hours, and that was with doing all the arena and going back and replaying some of the missions. So
the arena is where it's at. I love that.
You also have to
stuff.
You also have to go back and replay some of these missions, I think.
For the, it's not really spoilers, but at the end of the game, after I finished it, it set me at the point after the prologue. So you start at chapter 1 again. So you don't have to go back and you don't have to do any of that other stuff. But at the same time, the times when you make the decision-altering course, it's not very frequent. So there were 3 points. So 3 missions that take place during the course of the story that you can actively engage in. And maybe you didn't even have to, but I don't know. I went with, I don't know. Should I say which ending I went with?
I would just say you traveled with the road less traveled, and that made all the difference.
Lame.
Is Robert Frost lame, Getty?
Thanks, Robert Frost. Yeah, he is. Don't tell him I said that.
Robert Frost is mid.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you could say that, man.
Whack AF.
We should get canceled by Robert Frost stands.
Mm-hmm. That's our only listenership, Joel. You should know better.
You mean Kelly? Yeah, she might be.
All right. So, Armored Core, maybe we'll talk about it more when Joel finishes it. Maybe we'll talk about it more when Alex gets it. Who knows? Tune in next time.
You and I will probably talk more about it. We'll see.
Probably
if
a little bit
again.
Hey, I talked about it.
I love this game. Did you play it? No.
It's real sick.
It sure looks good on my wish list.
And the TikToks sure are fun.
Did you use any of my game content for your TikToks?
Not yet. It's in the plans.
All right. Well, I don't know that I'll make any more videos for you about that, but Liza P is coming up. Let's end this podcast. Let's go to one last thing, and this week's one last thing is realizing you've been screaming for the last 5 minutes while playing a game. Joel can attest.
I've been unpleasant to be around the last week.
I am actively unpleasant and making my life hell for my wife and children.
Why do you keep doing this to yourself?
You might want to wait until we're off recording before you admit that.
I'm pretty sure he was talking about you, but...
Yeah, I was talking about you.
Okay. Well, I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Yeah. All right, my one last thing. I have finished Armored Core. I have 12 days, I believe, until Liza P comes out. So you know what that means. I need to somehow cram in 1, maybe 2 video game reviews. It's
You're
not
Starfield, right?
I am not going to play Starfield. I don't care what anybody says. I know that game is buggy, and I know that people that are playing it either very unhappy or somehow they're making the most of it.
Yeah.
One person we know is very glowing on it, even on the limitations of the Steam Deck. So,
all right.
I feel like that's not the optimal way to play that game. I just feel it in my bones.
Grant you, this is one of the people very hot on Fallout 76 for the first month as well. So take that as you will.
I can only imagine who that is. All right, Alex.
I am Very excited that I'm finally making some progress on some of these backlog games so I can play Armored Core. I just wish games would just all stop coming out for the time being. Yep. Looking at you, the pieces of Mr. Koo. I have bought that game, and I'm excited to play it one day. I feel real weird about it because I'm like, I'm not going to buy Armored Core. But I don't know, Mr. Koo is like it's a small indie game that's going to be real weird, so I think that'll be a fun one.
Joel?
Yeah, so my recent purchase is the making of Karateka, or Karateka.
Karateka, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So I'll be eager to jump into that, and it looks real cool. Like, it was a whole documentary thing beyond just the game itself, but it being sort of this grandfather of that genre game, I'm really curious to check out.
We should probably finish that Atari one.
I have a problem where one of my children took a case of our Switch games, and it has gone missing. And one of those so happened to be one of the games. So.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Yeah. So tune in next time to find out.
You'll never know what happened to the Atari.
I mean, I've got the analog version of it right here. I could
Not
play
within a foot of my reach.
Oh boy.
All right. That'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on X,
Twitter,
at Super GG Radio, and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where Thursdays are on hold for a while. You won't be able to stare at our beautiful faces while we podcast, so enjoy this audio-only version. Wednesdays, Joel,
I'm probably going to be punishing myself.
Playing that Lion King game.
I'm going to play more Lion King on Sunday, but maybe depending on how I feel, I'll punish myself more on Wednesday.
Wow.
That'd be a good one for the
Joel
B-list.
defeat the Lion King?
I feel stubborn about this because I feel like I've gotten farther in that game than I ever have before. And my mind is just like, well, how much longer would it take to reach endgame on that?
I mean, to be fair, you're not even an adult Simba yet.
True.
That's a whole.
I don't know. Just remember, there's other stuff.
Fair.
Like Armored Core.
Like Armored Core.
Metal Gear. Alright, maybe Joel will be back to being the bad guy soon, but until he's done being punished, keep an eye out. Saturdays. I don't know, are you going to be playing Escape Academy, Joel, or are you going to punish yourself a third time?
Escape Academy on Saturdays. Okay. I have to reserve Saturday for a co-op fun night with me and Kelly, so we're real close. We just actually need to do it.
Good.
On the B list.
Yep, alright. Mondays, Alex is not doing that. He is playing Monster Hunter, trying to secure... I don't know, what do you even do in that game? Just hunt monsters?
You murder beautiful beasts and then take apart their corpses to put on your skin.
And make weapons.
And weapons.
Of mass destruction.
I'm wearing a skull on my head, it's kind of cool. And it's grim, but it's very fun. I will also say right here, Tuesdays, Skater Excel and Chill is currently on hold. They have done a big update, and it has broken all mods. So until the community starts rebuilding mods, I am in no way in hell. I would rather die than play vanilla Skater XL. Maybe I'll switch to Session, but Session is also I don't love Session, so we will have to see what happens.
All right, we did it, guys. We made it. If you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks for listening and good game, Alex.
Go to drinkpoggers.com, use code GOODGAME at checkout.
Oh my gosh, I completely forgot.
I got us, don't worry.
good game, Joel.
It's sleepy time for me, powder or not.
Let's all take some sleepy time.